I do most of my trading. I used to do it alone, but now I do most of it with a good friend of mine who I've known for my whole career. And I have a couple other good friends who I talk with ideas about. And one of the things that we're really doubling down on right now is focusing on exactly the stuff that makes us money and not as much on all the stuff that can be fun to talk about or fill the time during the day. And that stuff is more like, I would say, macroeconomic events and intellectual amusement around things that are going on in the news or what you think the dollar is going to do or gold. All that stuff is really enjoyable to talk about, and I definitely want to keep up with it, but it's not the stuff that actually makes me money because everyone else is studying the same thing, and there's so many smart hedge funds and other people who are going to have that information at a different level than I am. So I need to be aware of it, and I need to know reactions. If something unexpected happens with the dollar, I need to know how that's going to affect certain stocks and certain things. So I'm always aware of that, but spending too much time going deeper than that is not really going to help the bottom line. So what does help are, first of all, which the other podcasts have covered a lot, is figuring out what are you good at and what have you done well in the past with. And if you're not sure either one of those things, then it's the discovery process to figure that out. Once you kind of do figure that out and you get a little bit of a track record, it goes back to spending the time on that. So for us, it's looking at the stock market more. It's earnings and how stocks react to earnings. Peculiar things like a good earnings report that doesn't make the stock go up, and then figuring out where people were positioned and maybe having trades around that. It could also be in the futures. Oftentimes it's big event days. It's employment, Fed, ECB, things like that, where there's a lot of institutional money in the market and there's a lot of emotion and uncertainty. Those are really good areas to focus on. And another thing it is just going back over your big winners that you've had and some of your bigger losers and figuring out where that's gone wrong and where it's gone right and how you can really drill down on that stuff. So what I'm doing is trying to spend my time in the morning when I have more creative energy to really hit those things that sometimes get lost a little bit but actually matter the most. So I go through the earnings and I see, how stocks have reacted. And then if I have to dig a lot deeper because something seems like it's a little bit strange or there's a really interesting story and a lot of people are having different opinions, I'll look a lot deeper at it and see if I can come up with something that fits into what I'm good at. And going through those over and over. And another one is studying trades that are in my wheelhouse that I maybe missed and going back and studying why they worked the way they did and how I can take a few things from that and build a template or a checklist of how ideally the new ones might show up. They might have certain things in common with ones that I missed or ones that I caught. And that kind of work, it can get exhausting actually, and you might not be able to do it for more than a few hours a day, but hitting that in the morning and focusing on that really, it pushes you a lot further ahead than just kind of wandering around during the day, which is really easy to do, especially when you're by yourself.